Hello super friends and welcome to DC TV Talk. This is the show where we talk all things Supergirl, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow and Black Lightning. And in today's video we're going to be discussing the potential of Lena Luthor becoming the Season 4 villain for Supergirl after all of this stuff in Season 3 is wrapped up. So let's discuss. Now, there has always been a point made on Supergirl regarding Lena that she is not a typical Luthor. Of course, if you know DC, you know DC Comics, of course you'll know one of Superman's biggest villains is Lex Luthor, and this is his sister, and the whole point of this character is really to show that she's not her brother, you know, she's actually not evil, and while the world wants to basically put her in the same box as Lex Luthor, she's actually not that, and she's actually more of a heroic character, more along the lines of Supergirl and also someone like Alex Danvers on the show. And that's the whole point of this character on the show and why she's sort of being, and how she's been written, how she's being established. However, there's always been this thing that has sort of always been poking at the fans' brains, which is, could she actually be evil? Could she take an evil turn? And that's what I'm here to discuss today. Also, isn't this crazy, actually making another Supergirl video? I mean, in regards to this week's episode of Supergirl, I thought it was decent in comparison to what we've been getting recently. I think it was probably the best episode we've had in a while. I quite enjoyed a lot of the elements within it. But there was also quite a lot of hints in this episode that really made me think about Lena, and it's quite interesting to talk about. Like, at the very end of the episode, we see this big revelation moment between her and James, where he actually reveals he's Guardian to her, which was quite an interesting moment, because I don't even know if she knows who Guardian is, but anyway. And but she also reveals that she actually didn't steal the kryptonite from Lex. This wasn't actually the kryptonite she actually inherited. This was actually kryptonite which she created. She can now create kryptonite. And this is something that is going to be very pivotal going forward, I believe. And also, looking at this week's episode, we saw that her and Kara were very much at conflict. You know, she lied about Reign, she lied about, you know, kind of holding her hostage, and she also lied about having kryptonite. And this kind of put a wedge in between Kara and, or Supergirl I should say, and Lena, because of course she doesn't know that Kara is Supergirl, so it's Supergirl and Lena. There was kind of a wedge sort of drawn between them, and this has led me to believe that something is coming in the future. Whether it be Season 4 or whether it just be further on down the line, I feel that this is set up for Lena being a villain. Now, I don't know if she would be a full-fledged big bad or if she'd just be a villain for a little while or like a side villain to the main villain. I don't know. I feel like it'd be really cool if you actually made Lena, you know, the big bad of a season. I think that'd be really cool. Like, Katie McGrath is a really good actress, although her accent is all over the place. I think she's a really good actress, and she's really good as Lena Luthor, and I'd love to see her actually take on a main primary villain role, especially when, you know, this is to Supergirl what Lex Luthor is to Superman. You know, this is literally the same concept, so it'd be really cool to see, you know, one of Supergirl's biggest villains being, you know, the sister of Superman's biggest villain. I think it'd be a really cool idea, and something I'd love to see be executed, and especially in this week's episode, we sort of had that hint and that, you know, that conflict building. I feel like there is something being set up here for Lena to actually progress into a villain role in Season 4, Season 5, Season 6, you know, whatever, however long Supergirl goes for. Potentially a season big bad, which I think would be a really cool idea and something that Katie McGrath would love to get her teeth into. Also, they've given the perfect setup. You know, she can now create kryptonite, and this is going to be something that obviously Kara is going to want to destroy. This is something that she does not want around. Kryptonite extremely weakens her, as we know, along with her cousin Kal-El. It extremely weakens her, and also she really established in this episode that how painful kryptonite can be to a Kryptonian, and I feel like it'd be really cool if this is actually her way of saying, right, Lena, you can create your own kryptonite, that's not cool, and I'm going to take that down, because that is a big threat to not just her, but any other Kryptonian who, you know, appears on Earth, which is, you know, a rather regular occurrence if you think about it. So it'd be quite an interesting story development if they actually went down this route where Lena perhaps wasn't even necessarily evil. She's just trying to defend herself against Supergirl, who is just trying to destroy the thing that can, you know, harm her and her kind, whereas Lena is just trying to be a successful businesswoman and a successful scientist by using this new technology and this new, you know, revolutionary way of science that she's found to progress L-Corp. And I think that'd be a really interesting dynamic to have a villain who's not necessarily evil, and it's more just everyone's having a moral shade of grey. It'd be a very deep level of writing that Supergirl has not really delved into before. But even if Lena wasn't the main villain, say she was a supporting villain to the big bad, then I feel this would be a cool idea, but something that would be quite predictable. I feel like, you know, if they did this, then Lena would just be almost similarly to what Marlize DeVoe has been on The Flash this season, where she'll be evil up until about episode 21, and then she'll, she'll flip the brakes, and then she'll turn and she'll help Supergirl and the DEO to take down whoever that big bad is, be it Mongol or whoever. It could be anybody at this point. So I think like that's what would happen if they put Supergirl into a supporting villain role. So therefore, to avoid that predictability, I think you just have to push her to the big bad and just go there, commit to it. And I think if you did that, it'd be a really awesome bit of storytelling, and something that'd be a really interesting season for Supergirl for the dynamic between the hero and the villain. Because like I said, it wouldn't just be as black and white, it'd be a lot more shades of grey, which I think would be a really interesting way for Supergirl to go, especially when Supergirl is pretty bland and stale in terms of its writing. I mean, Season 1 was very, very bland. Season 2 got a bit better. Season 3, at least for the first half, was a lot better. The back half, not so much, but I feel like Supergirl really needs a big push for its writing, and I feel like doing something like this would be really interesting and something that would actually really draw me into the show. But what do you guys think about Lena being a villain for Supergirl? Tell me all your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear them. I mean, like I said, Supergirl has been very weak this season, especially in the back half. The first 9 episodes were solid, but I think like the back half has been really, really weak. And you can probably tell by my enthusiasm and my lack of videos on Supergirl that how sort of uninteresting it is. And also, I've just looked at the community. The community are just not that into it, and I feel like it's really affecting the show. And that's really quite sad, because I was really having high hopes for this season, like, especially like the first half was so good. I was like, yeah, this is great, like this is such a genuinely good season. And like, at the start of this season, I was thinking, yeah, Supergirl's actually better than Arrow and The Flash, which is crazy. Not quite Legends, but obviously Legends is on its complete league of its own. But, besides that, I was like, it's better than Flash and Arrow. Like, this is insane. I would have never imagined this. And so to see it, like, go from that quality down is really sad. And I'm hoping, like, these last few episodes can really boost it back up again, because we've still got quite a while to go for Supergirl. So hopefully it can build itself back up again. But tell me all your thoughts about Lena in the comment section down below. So thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like. It will help me out a lot. And share this video with anyone and everyone you know who loves DC TV, and get them to join the community. And as always guys, please subscribe for all of your latest content on Supergirl, The Flash, Legends of Tomorrow, Arrow and Black Lightning. And with all that said guys, I hope to see you again in my next video.